Today, I will be brutally honest in telling you which gaming coins that can perform extremely well and which ones you should avoid. This is only my conservative opinion. It's not financial advice. You can have a completely different opinion, and that's fine. We're going to start off with Wilder World. This is an altcoin dating back to 2021. Now, with these older coins, the best indicator of future performance is often, not always, but often measurable through the 2024 Q1 performance. And with Wild, it barely managed to do a 6x, not coming close to what it did in the previous cycle. So just based on the chart, even though the game could be good, this is not worth it for me. The risk reward is simply not there. Nakamoto Games, play to earn gaming platform. This is also an older coin, but the thing about this one is that it has performed extremely well over the last year. And you can also see it from when the altcoin market pumps, that this one is also pumping, which is obviously a good indicator, doing almost a 100x from the lows of the last bear market. Now, at the time of me recording, we're still under 100 million in market cap. The only critique I have for this project is that I think the website needs an update. I think it looks too outdated, and especially the visual aspect of the call to action definitely needs an update, because these things matter a lot. Other than that, really good project. I do believe this is actually a $1 billion project. Therefore, I'm going to give Naka a 20x. Metal, if you're holding this project, you need the team to provide some more exchanges. It looks a bit dead at the moment. Having said this, it definitely looked dead back here as well. You know, I'll be the first to admit I completely faded this project because of this. Because at the time, you also had private KOLs, advisors, public getting their tokens. Not that that necessarily accounted for such a big percentage. But either way, it's still an old project. Volume is really bad. One thing you gotta ask yourself, as we'll talk a lot about throughout this list, who is the target audience here? If you can't define the target audience, the chances are no one's playing it or will play it. If you hold, not financial advice, but I would probably just keep on holding depending on how much you're up or down. Given that it's such a small market cap, a 20x should be doable, but it definitely needs exchanges. Meta Hero, looking at the chart is enough. Domi, the thing about MMORPGs in crypto is that everyone expects them to perform extremely well, but they simply don't perform that well compared to studios, infrastructure, or even objectively simpler games like Axie Infinity. But nevertheless, Domi is on Avalanche. If you've been following the channel for some time, you know I'm very bullish on Avalanche Gaming. We have some huge titles being released on this chain. Domi is such a small cap that a 20x should be doable. Just be aware of the unlock in December. 9 Heroes, game looks good. It's MOBA, it's on Solana, it's a low cap, also has novelty, good listings, checks every single box for something that can pump. This is not a project I'm looking to hold, but rather trade, as the dilution, especially towards H2 2025, is quite harsh. But if we get an altcoin rally before this, then this is definitely a very good trade. I have this somewhere between 20 to 30x. I would have had it higher if it wasn't for the dilution. Big time, again, RPG, game looks amazing, there's no doubt. And the amount of resources you need to build a game like this, it's very apparent that the team have a lot of funds. They also have amazing listings, only missing Binance, which could very well come. Quite high in market cap, so I'll give this a 10x. Gala Games, completely dead. I would stay far away from something that does not perform. You have so many good higher caps that we will discuss further down the list. Team has also been through a FUD fest for quite some time. I think retail has lost conviction in this one. This is going in a void. Same with DAR, not worth it. YGG, I know a lot of people are bullish on this. Keep in mind this already has a Binance listing and it's old and the gains haven't been that good. I think this can maybe do like a 3 to 5x. The reason why it's not going into a void is because it's been on a small uptrend ever since August. So it has some strength definitely, but no more than a 3 to 5x. Mana, outdated, not worth it. Next up is Pirate. Now the thing that stands out when talking about this low cap is that it received 33 million in funding, which is a lot for a low cap. Game itself looks decent. Do I see this getting full worldwide adoption? No. Do we need this? No. I see this doing a 20x. Synverse, outdated. Max, Matrix, very good volume, good listings. Game looks okay. Chart looks amazing. Has been consolidating for a good amount of time. I'd say this can do somewhere between 10 to 20x. I'll give it a 20x, same as Pirate. Qorpo, the only thing that's bad about this project is of course the dilution. You have a lot of selling pressure, which we've seen from this horrendous bloody chart. The reason for this is that seed, private, strategic, etc. are getting their tokens monthly. And these guys are still up. And you can clearly see it on the chart that this is having a direct impact. This project did, however, raise a lot of money. It's low cap, only valued at 10 million. This could actually do a 30x. GME, now this is the first Telegram GameFi token. So the point of difference is there. They're backed by Binance Labs. Chart is, of course, absolute trash and quote unquote only did a 20x in Q4 2023. I think another 20x is very reasonable for this. I can actually, compared to a lot of other games, actually see some adoption for this. So a 20x should be doable. Axie Infinity, my biggest gainer of last cycle. Sadly, there is nothing to gain anymore from this project. Avoid. Crown. The thing is though, Alex Becker will shield this narrative as he has shielded it before. So I can see it do a 5x, maybe even a 10x. Next up, we have a very interesting project, Dark Times. Very little is known about this project. I covered this briefly in my Sui video I made a couple of weeks ago before Sui took off as predicted. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on content like this. But like I said, very little is known about this project other than it's on Sui. Right now, it's a super volatile microcap with harsh vesting, so no need to hold this for a long time, just trade it. It fully depends on how the game is going to be though. I'm having a really hard time categorizing it right now based on just primarily cinematics. But being 1 million in market cap and the fact that Sui has enough conviction in it for it to be featured on the Sui Play, I mean, this could easily do a 100x if it turns out to be a good game, as it would only be 100 million in market cap. That's very speculative though. It's brand new, very risky. Let's put it at 50x, but like I said, risky. Sandbox, outdated. OTK, talked a lot about this. Conservatively, this is an easy 30x. Again, this is not a revolutionary project. It's simple mobile games with the target audience being defined. It's very clear. People are actually playing this. I see this doing a 30x, very easy actually. Magic, I do think this is fundamentally a really good project. I think it has one of the better brandings on this list. The two things that put me off about Magic is that it's a Dino coin and the fact that it has a Binance listing. So the biggest catalyst event is taken away from it. So I mean, this can easily do a 5x, but I don't see it doing any more than that. G-Swift, covered this a while back. Ever since then, we've had a pretty substantial tokenomics upgrade. So that's why the market cap is higher. This is of course a long-term plan. I do believe there's a rationale for this. From today's market cap, I can see this doing around a 20x. Maavia, I've talked about this so much. I do believe this is a billion-dollar project. It's backed by Binance. So I'd be very surprised if it doesn't get a Binance listing eventually. However, we are not going to get it until at least 100 million in market cap. I would personally like to see 200 million minimum. But from today, I think this conservatively will be able to do a 30x, especially with a Binance listing. Ancient 8, this is an interesting play. Gaming infrastructure, quite new. This is definitely a project you would like to keep an eye on. But I'd say if 20x is definitely doable for Ancient 8. MetaZero, avoid. Star Atlas, outdated, avoid. Illuvium, fantastic game, no doubt about it, but it just does not perform. And this was what I was talking about earlier with RPGs. It's kind of unfair that a project that requires so many resources to build and maintain just does not perform. And they managed to create a great game, but I suspect that people just won't play these kind of games on the blockchain just yet. They tend more towards lucrative play-to-earn games where the barrier to entry is just lower. The dilution has also killed this project. I'll give it a 3 to 5x. Next up is Altura. I don't think this is worth. I remember Alex Becker shilling this a lot last cycle, and I believe he's still bullish on it. So you're kind of dependent on him because the project itself is kind of dead. But I definitely say a 5x is conservatively doable if you're willing to depend on Alex Becker. Now, I think a lot of people are going to disagree with my take on Carrot. I'm not that bullish on it. The reason for this is I have a hard time placing it within a target audience. I think the branding is all over the place. It's arcade meets shooter meets bunnies. I think it would be better to narrow down the focus. Also, dilution is something to keep in mind. With that being said, I know the team is fantastic. I know it has good listings, has responded well to recent pumps. The community engagement is there. It's not been through a cycle. I think a 10x should be very conservatively doable for Carrot. Could absolutely do more, but a 10x should be very doable. TLM already has a Binance listing, only did a 3x in the Q1 pump this year. Definitely not worth. Loka, League of Kingdoms, exactly the same argument I have for TLM, I have for Loka, not worth. PlayZap, a team wallet got quote unquote hacked. I don't like the way the team handled this. Just completely closed down their general chat in Discord. When stuff like this happens, you gotta expect the team to be fully transparent, allow people to question the validity of the hack, which is obviously in everyone's right. And I don't like the way the team handled this. The recovery has not been great either. I don't think it's worth it. Pixels, okay project, has a Binance listing. I know there's going to be a ton of influencers shilling this project in the altcoin season, so I'm pretty confident that this can do a 10x. The illusion is also good. Gamer Arena, I think it has a lot of bullish aspects to it. It's on Avalanche, has performed decent, both with regards to Q1 pump, but also since its lows of July. If this can get some more listings, that I can absolutely see it do a 20x. Super, now this one has performed extremely well over the last couple of months. Elliott Trades had this as Super Farm, now it's called SuperVerse. Previous projects of this guy has just been rebranded so many times, just jumps from project to project. Some of you might remember Dap Revolution if you've been in the space for some years, but it doesn't matter because him and his buddies are going to shill this project to oblivion. The kind of networking these guys have is pretty huge, and people forget very quickly in crypto, and we are here to make money. So given the rise, I can't place it higher than a 5x, but this will be a $1 billion project just because it will have so many backers. Playable, again, Avalanche, super bullish on Avalanche. They have their MOBA game Nexus, which is live. Get some more exchanges and this can easily do a 20x and maybe even a 30x, but a 20x should be very conservatively doable. YOM, not worth. Prime, good project fundamentally, shilled by the big YouTubers. I don't think it will do more than a 5x though, as 10x would put it close to 4 billion in market cap from today's price. That's a bit of a stretch, but 5x should be doable. Next up, we have Voxies, low cap on Binance. Now bear with me. And this is why I am not in favor of projects getting listed on Binance too early, unless their fundamental value is in a PNG, like a meme coin that can create hype out of nothing. I don't think you will find many meme coins under 100 million in market cap on Binance, but you will find a ton of low cap utility projects. So this is why I'm not in favor of premature Binance listings when it comes to utility projects, because you could end up with a low cap like this one that no one is going to touch because its fundamental value is dependent on something that inherently has more variables that need to be met in order to create hype as opposed to meme coins. Bit of a rant, hope that makes sense. TLDR, not worth it. Engine coin, it's over, it's outdated, look for other options. Shrapnel, I am really bullish on Shrapnel. I made a video about this a long time ago. It's actually a AAA game, has many influencers, pro gamers, ex-pro gamers backing it like TSM Myth for instance. It's on Avalanche, they've had some turnover within the team, which looks now to be resolved. And we saw that this had the potential of really moving if we look back at the pump we had in September, where Shrap out of the blue suddenly pumped, doing like a 3x after some brutal past couple of months. The thing that made me skeptical about this project is, of course, the vesting. I don't understand why you would have these tokenomics with such a good game. So the problem moving forward is that on the 7th of November, we're going to have daily unlocks for team, advisors, seed, and strategic. If we are not in an altcoin season by then this will continue to dump. We're looking at a 7x dilution within end of the year 2025. Without a doubt, that's going to be a lot of selling pressure. So that sucks, but I still think this token is a fantastic trade. If you're in the VIP, we are going to do a lot of this, so you don't have to worry about that, because there will come a time where this will be tradable. If it wasn't for the fact that all of these unlocks accounts for like 50% of the supply, and we're going to see more downside action, I would have given this a 50x because it's such an amazing project. But I can't justify it with those tokenomics to give it more than a 20x. Gamercoin, very little dilution left for this project. I'd say this is more of an AI deepin GPU project rather than a gaming project, but this can do a 10x. FCon chart is looking quite horrendous, not gonna lie. The only thing I find bullish on this one is the fact that it's on Solana, but that alone won't carry this project in my opinion. It's a micro cap though, and I know the team is actually working on the project. It also did jump a bit during late September, which is good, but it didn't perform as expected during the rally of Q1 this year. Given that it's a micro cap, I have this at 20x, maybe a bit conservative, could absolutely do better, but I don't think it's a multi-$100 million project. Portal, already listed on Binance, website is very outdated. If you go down on their website, are they launching another token? Like, what is this? Very tempted to put this in a void, but I can't see a 5x for Portal, especially at 50 million. They've been doing a lot of burning, so 5x is doable. ICNX, I've been very transparent about this, even though a bunch of other influencers were shilling this. I never understood why anyone could be bullish on this. Has 60% of its supply untracked, If you're interested in the project, I would have a look on chain before investing. The only thing going for this is that it's a microcap and therefore could potentially move. I mean, it could do like a 50x, but a 20x is doable. UFO Gaming, outdated, avoid. IMX Gaming Infrastructure, partner up with Beam. I think a better risk to reward here is just to buy Beam, which is coming up next here. IMX is by no means a bad project, but doing more than a 5x is very unlikely. Now, Beam is by far one of the best projects on this list, if not the best project. And I honestly don't think you should be fooled by it having a high market cap because the risk to reward is really good. I made an entire video about Beam a couple of weeks ago, which you can go check out. But this is a very favorite pick in the VIP Discord. I do think this is by far the #1 safety net pick for gaming. I think it checks all the boxes for something that will perform. Now, obviously, it's fairly high in market cap, so a 50x won't be achievable, but I'd say a safe 10x should be very doable. From where we got in the Discord, it will be closer to 20x. And please don't get discouraged by quote unquote only a 10x. Remember, if you have experience for previous cycle, then this can be rotated. But a 10x should be very doable for Beam. Remember, these are conservative estimates. Guild Guardians, I used to like this project a lot. I actually held it before the rally we had in Q1, took some decent profit on it, exited my position completely, has not reacted to any other recent pumps. And if this was sub 1 to 2 million in market cap, but at this market cap, it's definitely not worth it. Next up, we have Elixir Games. So this one is coupled with LitLab Games. Yes, LitLab Games. We have seen time and time again, you know, devs just launching a new project when the old one is dead, and it works because people forget. So this one can actually perform, and this is new, it's exciting, has good listings, team is doxed, actually got funded quite heavily at around 16 million. So I can't see this doing like a 10x, maybe even a 20x, given that the market cap is so low. So yeah, a 20x should be doable. Myria will do well. I don't think it's the best project on this list, but at this market cap, I can see this doing a 20x. It's fundamentally a good project. They have a good scaling solution. So I can't actually see this being a $1 billion project. It's also being shilled by Alex Becker, which of course will help pump up the price. G-File has had a pretty tough time. The thing that makes people bullish about this one is that you have an extremely competent team with experience within high-tier Web2 games. One of the issues I have with this one is the release dates on their games. They have currently 4 games where 2 of them are live. The 2 remaining are supposed to be released sometime during 2024. That remains to be seen if they can follow through on that one. But I do still have faith in this project. It also responded quite well to the recent pump we had, which is a good sign. I have G-File at 20x conservatively. I have made an entire list of gems that are not launched yet, but that we are going to swing trade in the VIP to make a lot of money. By joining, you get a portfolio review. You get to see all my courses, including exit strategy. This course alone is something that bigger YouTubers charge a ton for. You get to see my portfolio, my secret gems, get to be early in meme coins such as Ponke. All of this for $49. Of course, limited spots for this price, as there will be a cap on the number of people in the group. So join now to lock in this price forever before it will more than double. You can also pay yearly with fiat for a nice discount. You can also pay with crypto for similar discounts. I hope to see you there. As always, take care and stay safe.